I'm Rich Gill, and I'm here today to try and show you how to load a claim onto eClaims. Now, it's important to note that we're in something called the interim process or proxy because we're loading it on behalf of the grant recipient, our projects. Eventually, they will be doing this, but we thought it was a good idea just to show you what it looks like, how straightforward it can be to do. There is a lot of guidance on the web, including an actual document with all the screenshots that you'll see, but we're going to just take you through it line by line here, and hopefully this has helped you. Okay, so this is in the test environment, so it will look slightly different, but same principles. So I have a project here called Atlantis Business Support, and we're now putting a claim on for them. So you can see here you've got, you know, all your details. That's what you'd expect. I have been into this claim already. Normally you would see, I'll show you, manage claims. So you've got the menu down the left. I'll just make that clear. There you go. You can see also you've got your procurement register, asset register, all things that you'll find at the moment on the interim claim form. I'll click on manage claims, and this helpfully shows you what you've got in the system. And as you can see, I did start this one. Normally what you would see is the start claim there, as you can see. So I'm going to go to continue. Like a lot of e-claims, really the action side of things is on the left. So you can see you've got, I'll go over to it now, all of the things that you can actually do with a claim. Now, at this moment in time, offline, you've got a claim that's been sent to you via email. As I said, you know, this isn't working as it will work. So you're pretending now to be the grant recipient. So the first thing you need to do is get the transactions which your grant recipient has sent to you, and it's here. Go to upload transactions. So I'll click on that. And this is this will open up a folder where you'll see hopefully your export ready sheet. So there is full guidance on the transaction sheet. As the transaction sheet's presented, it is to help the grant recipient put together all of the stuff in the claim, but eventually they click the button for export, which gives us this document. And this is what you load onto eClaims. Now you can either double click or you can select and then press open, which I'm doing here. And you see it's automatically, it's very quick, although to be fair there are only 29 lines on this claim, and this is just a demonstration. It's not, you know, you will have bigger claims than this likely, but you can see what it's telling you here. We're in the process of improving this to make it clearer, and this is a good example of the work that Sharon team and Martin Price do. If you look here, that's what you need to do here. You've got, it's all fine, you can import, but a lot of people will just go to the green close button. So you can see what, you know, what we mean by have patience, we're working through these issues. But that's worked well. So now I'm going to take this and bring it into eClaims. So remember, you're acting here as the grant recipient. This is what they would do. So now we're happy, we can say, yeah, they've all come over, not invalid documents. I'm going to close this. This should take us back out to the screen that we were just in. So I'm going to take you down, and also I should say all of this is going to change. We're trying to improve this to meet the government digital service requirement. So you'll see that a lot of this does look like gov.uk. There's a reason for that. Everything we do needs to be clear and helpful. So we'll scroll down, and what you'll see is, as if by magic, here are your lines. And this is why we have a spreadsheet that we can export, because it's ordered, it takes the right data, it manages that, and then it makes it into something recognisable for eClaim. So you can look through all of these. You imagine you're the grant recipient here, so they might want to double check that what they've got is appropriate. So that takes all of the data off of each line, and they can check that. So that's really a helpful feature. Your friendly local claims experts have reviewed this functionality on quite a few occasions, and we think these headings aren't particularly helpful to be the sort of front headings that you see. So these are going to change as well to something that helps you more readily identify the invoices. But for now, you've now successfully uploaded the bulk of what the claim is, which is the actual invoices, the claim. Right. This is outputs. We will probably rename this, but at the moment we are still working on developing a spreadsheet for outputs. Importantly, it will be quite similar to what you've just seen. So that's just to give you a heads up, and you can see there's another link. Okay, so obviously if you were a grant recipient, you'd be working through all of this, doing a mix of offline and working through this. For now, one of the most crucial things that we can do is the progress report. In fact, you can't submit a claim without this. The progress report there is an offline version to this, and that's stored in QMS or EPIMS for colleagues in GLA. And what you'll find is that the headings don't exactly match, and we are working on that at the moment. For now, what I'm going to do is just show you how this will all work. And as I say, this again is all going to change. You'll notice if I try and move through each heading, you'll see, it's quite logical. These are the areas that they need to tell us about, to say what they've done during the period. Now I've done that there because, as you see, there's errors. It won't let you just put text in. So I'll take you through each one here, and just very quickly just put some text in. So what you would be doing in this instance, and I'm just going to move to something that would be very helpful if we could just look at this. That's what you will actually have. It's quite a short form, and you can see it's got the guidance on it as well. This will eventually be on eClaims. For now, I'm just going to fire through all of these, but what you will need to do is to match these up to these columns. Okay, but you've still got this anyway, saved within the 1420 contract management folder. So for now, I'm just going to take you through it and whiz through. I should say the progress report is pretty much our critical health check for the project with the claim. This is what tells you where the project is, what it's doing, and whether it's meeting its targets, be that spend or outputs. Now this is a very important screen. This is where some of you will have be familiar with the fact that we have a procurement register that the applicants initially fill in, and then once they get their contract, as grant recipients, they need to keep this up to date. And again, there's lots of guidance to the grant recipients of how they do this. You'll get this in an offline form. It'll be on an Excel sheet as part of the interim claim. Everything is on the interim claim form, and you'll need to go in to eClaims to update. So we'll do this now because it's quite good in that what it does, it saves what you've done so you don't forget and you don't navigate away from the screens. The procurement register sits separately. So here you go. You'll see I've got 2 procurements there. And if I wanted to, within this claim, I could edit them, and I'll take you into one of them now. And this gives you a chance to update if necessary. It obviously also helps you, which is probably more important, is if you've had a new procurement within the quarter, you need to add this because it is linked to the claimed expenditure. Okay, so we've had a look at our procurements. For now, we're not going to add a record. If you were going to, it's as simple as clicking there. Now, I'm going to come back out of here, and quite helpfully you'll see that it's telling me, and this will, as I say, change because we're trying to make this a bit more user friendly, but this is helpfully telling me I've done all of those sections. Obviously, you won't be tapping in BB on each bit, and this just takes us into cross-cutting themes. I'm happy with that one. Publicity, you can see you can add evidence there if you wish. I'm saying that there was no procurement undertaken in a claim period. You will get the asset details from the interim claim form, which has got a separate asset register section. Now this bit, I believe, this bit, because we're at the end of it, this will change. You just need to click on save and quit. That button's not quite doing what we want it to do at this moment in time. Okay, so we're still seeing errors here, so let's go in and see why that might be. Click that box because that's saying that we do keep all our publicity. That makes total sense. And on the procurement section, I really must put something in here. Now obviously you wouldn't say NA, you would just say no procurement undertaken during this claim period. And the same here. And again, this will all change, but this gives you a feel for what you will have to record these kinds of details. Okay, so we're now complete now. I'm just going to save that. Right, so this takes us back out now. So what have I done? I've loaded on the transactions and I've loaded on the progress report, and I'm now ready, hopefully, and I've checked the procurements and the assets. I can now hopefully submit the claim. Now before I do that, you'll see down the side here, the other side of this, obviously, we don't just do this, we check if you're the grant recipient, you check your progress and you fill in your forecasts, what you've done in the quarter, what you're planning to do in terms of forecast, actual delivery of outputs, and that's in the separate interim claim form. Now we are looking to build that into this, and that will be a very powerful tool for the grant recipient to see at a glance where they're slipping, and that informs the progress report. So this will all be reordered, but I thought it was helpful for you to see that, you know, that's where this is going to be living. For now, we've got that held offline. We're going to try submitting the claim. So now this is an important point. For the grant recipient, we don't insist that they have a separate, what we call claim editor and reviewer. And in English, that means the person who puts the claim together and the person who just checks that it's okay. Now, the reason we're not, we're not prescriptive with that is because in a university, they will have a finance department and an authoriser. In our department, that's what we do. But if we're working with an SME or a small third sector organisation, a voluntary organisation, they may not have that. So we promote it as good practice, and what this box is saying, look, before you do anything more, within your company or organisation, have the right set of eyes been over this, okay? For you, this confuses you because you think, hang on, that's no. So for now, we just click yes, we're happy. Right, so that's now been submitted, and you can see, and I should maybe have pointed this out, we've done that on an external account, and by external we mean our projects, our grant recipient. We have acted as them in that. So what's going to happen now, and this will be the subject of the next video, is I'm going to take you through how you act as a claim approver to get the claim through the system and to carry out desk-based checks if necessary.